Okay. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Let's try this again. Hey, y'all. Welcome. Oh, I gotta look over here. So stressed out about this. Okay. Hey, y'all. Welcome to my channel. My name is Heather Bell. For those of you who don't know, if you can't tell by the shortage of videos, I'm kind of new at this vlogging thing. So today's vlog is a little more serious, on the serious side. And God has really laid it on my heart, some of the topics that He wants me to talk about and me to share about through this vlog that I've just started. I think it's time to kind of kick it off, put it all out there, and this is going to be into series because there's no way that I could get this all into one vlog. That would be impossible. So the title of this vlog is It's a Girl. I'm not pregnant, just for those of you who are wondering, I'm not pregnant. And so in June 2017, God woke me up in the middle of the night and told me that I was going to have a daughter. Crazy, I know. Especially because me and my husband had decided that we were done having children. God woke me up in the middle of the night at family camp, told me that we were going to have a daughter and that we were going to name her Leona. And even down to the spelling, Leona. And I was like, what the heck? And then I looked up what the meaning of Leona was, and it means lioness. So it's a derivative of Leo, which means lion. Leona is the female version, which means lioness, which I really loved that. That spoke to me a whole lot because obviously the Lion of Judah, lions and their power, leaders, I love that. I told my husband about this, and he, of course, was kind of shocked. Like, what? More children? You said we were done. And I was like, I know. I said we were done. We were done. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that I have some very, very hard pregnancies. I'm nauseous almost the entire time. I usually have to end up going on Zofran, which is a medication to help with nausea while you're pregnant. I usually have to be on Zofran to even be able to get out of bed, to keep any food down. It gets really, really hard for me. And I had experienced this with all of my last pregnancies. So having more children just wasn't really in our thought process at all. We had our 3 boys. We were happy. We were a family of 5. And we were being able to provide for ourselves on one income. And it was a huge blessing. And we were just kind of keeping ourselves afloat and just getting our heads above water. And then God laid this on my heart that you're going to have a daughter and you're going to name her Leona. What? So I told Ryan about this. He, of course, was super supportive. You know, if you want another baby, if you think we're supposed to have another baby, I support you completely, which that shocked me too. You know, during the times when we had children, you know, anybody who's married with children know children can be hard on a relationship. But his willingness to have another child put me at peace. We weren't really trying. We had just started talking about it. In the middle of July, we found out we were pregnant. It was actually on his mom's birthday. For a surprise for her birthday, we showed her the pregnancy test too. We had just found out that day. I had just told Ryan, and then we walked in the house and told his mom and told his family. They, of course, were in shock because we had told everybody we were done having children, and here we are pregnant again. Crazy, I know. And we also don't like to find out what we're having when we have a baby. We like to be surprised. We did find out with Oren because we had decided that he was our last baby. So Ryan had always wanted to find out, and we found out, which it was okay. But Ryan will tell you now, he'll never want to find out again. It's so much more exciting to have a baby there, be told what it is, and it get put into your arms. It's just such a magical, amazing moment, and just that gift opening it all at once is so cool. God tells us we're supposed to have a girl. I don't believe him. We are walking through this pregnancy, and it's the same type of pregnancy as our pregnancies before. I am deathly ill. I have a hard time keeping food down. I didn't want to tell everybody that I was pregnant as early as I was, but it's impossible for me to hide it with how sick I get. My mom knew immediately, obviously, because I'm just getting nauseous every 15 minutes, have to go throw up, can't keep anything down. It 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 was a struggle, and um, I say that though, saying that I wouldn't take it back for anything though. I'm sorry, I wasn't. Hard pregnancy, hard walk, and in November of 2017, we were 23 weeks pregnant. We had just had our anatomy scan, so they checked the baby. Baby was growing perfectly. Everything was fine. Everything was where it was supposed to be. Baby was measuring how it was supposed to be. I was feeling a lot of movement during this time. It was very easy to track the baby kicks. Ryan got to experience that also. But in November, I had a really, really bad weekend. I really think it was something that I ate. 23 weeks pregnant. I had a very rough weekend. I had thrown up all weekend. I couldn't get out of bed. It was terrible. And Monday morning was the first time that I had noticed a decrease in fetal movement. And it was very, very noticeable for me. This baby loved to move, like all over the place. I called it my little dancer, just always all over the place, moving, moving, moving constantly. And on Monday, I noticed a significant decrease in movement, to the point where Monday night, and of course I didn't say anything to Ryan either. I didn't want to worry him. I thought maybe it was all in my head. You moms know that you can relate. Monday night, I said a little prayer, go into my midwife's the next day. And I think I had just had a midwife appointment on Thursday too. Was there on Thursday, found the heartbeat, checked baby size, everything was great. And then on Monday, I immediately noticed a decrease in fetal movement. Ryan was working on Tuesday. I went in for an appointment that I had scheduled. I told them that I was worried. They let me come in, of course. They're fabulous. That's what they do. And the midwife couldn't find the baby's heartbeat. I was scared. I immediately was scared. My heart dropped. So many things started rushing through my mind. Maybe they just weren't looking in the right spot. Maybe baby was just tucked somewhere that they didn't know. So then they sent me down the street to the OB that they work with, because he has a full sono, everything there to be able to do everything. So she drove me over there. Mind you, I was all by myself during this time, except for my midwife. I hadn't told anybody. My boys were at my mom's. I told her I just had an appointment. I was trying not to make a big deal about this. Went over to the other OB and sat there in the office by myself for a while, just with my thoughts, with me, kind of preparing myself for what I knew was coming. But can I tell you, you can never prepare yourself for something like that. Like, no manner of TV shows that you watch or even videos that you watch, if you're watching this now, will prepare you for that moment when you go in there and you're praying and praying that everything's going to be okay. And the doctor tells you that you've lost your baby. Those are words that no mother should ever have to hear, that no one should ever have to experience. All the questions, all the things that start running through your head, it's not good. It's awful. And I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. And it breaks my heart to see people lose so much now because of this loss that I have experienced. So I was by myself, hearing these words from the doctor. And then the doctor told me it was a girl. My heart broke a second time. This little girl that I thought I could never have was here with me, and I hadn't even known it. But not only that, then I had to call my husband. I had to call my husband and tell him what was going on. Even after our life of worrying about just having girls and not having boys, after 3 little boys, he was hopeful that Oren was a girl. That didn't turn out. And here we thought we were done, and God told us that we were going to have this little girl, and I didn't even believe it. That was hard. Not knowing if it was a boy or a girl, and then finding out that it was a little girl. It was hard. I also reached out to one of my best friends who had experienced the same thing at 39 weeks with her son. Having her with me during this time was a huge blessing. She was able to kind of prepare me for what I was about to walk through and have to go through. And I appreciate her so much. And in the same breath, my heart breaks for her having to know this pain, this terrible, terrible pain, like I said, that I wish no one would ever have to know. There was such an outpouring during this time of help from our church that we were really involved in, from friends and family, from people that I didn't even know, people who just knew my family, who reached out, brought us meals, sent us cards, gave us gifts, necklaces, bracelets, all these beautiful things, all these wonderful things. To be able to help us remember and memorialize our daughter. We had a memorial for her at our church that our church helped us put together, and it was beautiful. So glad we got to do that for her, and there were so many people there, y'all. Like, my heart was just overwhelmed with all the love, all these people that wanted to come and remember our daughter with us. Those first few weeks after finding out and going through all of that, I'm so amazed by the love of all these people. Like I said, people that I didn't know, but people that maybe had walked this path too, who knew how I felt, who knew how I was hurting. And it breaks my heart to know that there's so many people out there that have to go through this. It's heart-wrenching. It's something that no one should have to endure. But I understand, being a believer and a Christ follower, that this is what has happened to our world since the fall of man, that sin has come into this world and made it a broken place, that this is a pain that God never intended for us to feel. But I also know, because I am a believer and a Christ follower, that I will get to see my daughter again. That she's in the best hands that she could possibly be in. That she's with the Father of fathers. And the reason I cry for her is it's just selfish. It's just selfishness, because she knew no pain. She knew no hurt. She doesn't have to deal with the brokenness of this world. She gets to go straight to heaven and be in perfect peace and perfect happiness and in perfect love. And I don't even say that she's waiting for us, because I doubt that time, the concept of time is very different for them in heaven than it is for us here. Not that she's waiting for us, but that she's ready for us. She knows that we're coming. And that we love her dearly. And we miss her every day. Walking through this with my 3 small boys hasn't been easy either. The concept of understanding loss is very minute for just what little they can grasp. I remember Oren would ask me, even after everything, if the baby was still in my tummy. It's hard for them to understand things like this. Racer understood the most. I have this memory and it makes me chuckle, but it's also sad, of course. And we were headed to the hospital so we could have her, give birth to her. We stopped by my parents' house to let the boys know that we were going to be gone overnight, because we were going to have to stay in the hospital overnight, and to let them know kind of what was going on. And I was sad, obviously. I walked in, and Racer looked at me, and I said, "Hey, baby, we have something to tell you." In his face, he just goes, "Oh, no." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, does he know? Does he know what's happening?" And he looked at me and he goes, "Is the baby a boy?" Which, in his little mind, that was the worst possible thing that could have happened, was having another little brother. But then, getting to tell him that no, it's a girl. Mommy had a little girl, but that she's gone. She's not with us anymore. She's gone to heaven to be with Jesus. It was hard, and you could tell on his face that even though he didn't cry, he was processing it, and he has such a tender heart, and he still talks about her all the time, and I love that. I love that he says her name. We ended up naming her Violet Leona Dawn Bell. Violet, obviously, because I love that name. It obviously came from the Incredibles. I love the Incredibles, and Violet's one of my favorite characters from the Incredibles. Purple is also one of my favorite colors, even more so now. Dawn is my middle name, and of course we wanted to include Leona because God told us that we would have a daughter and we would name her Leona. He didn't specify how much time we would get with her, but he did tell us that we would have a daughter. And I know me and my husband both are so thankful for every moment that we got, every kick, every heartbeat we got to hear, even the moments that we got to spend with her in the hospital. As short as it was, we wouldn't take those back for anything. We got to take pictures with her. We got to memorialize her in lots of ways. We cremated her. Me and my husband both have necklaces that we carry her ashes with us all the time. Most everything that we have, remembering her as a gift too. We didn't have to do much to be able to remember her. We had so many good friends and family take care of that for us because of their love for us or because they had walked through this themselves. Walking through this pain has been very surreal, very different, very, very crazy. Something that I never thought I could endure. I actually used to tell myself that all the time. This isn't something that God would make me do. I can't bear the loss of a child. But here I am, walking through it every day, remembering her and reaching out to God to give me strength. And I couldn't do it without him. I can't imagine my life without Christ in it to be able to help me walk this walk. And for anybody out there walking this walk on your own strength, if I could just tell you, it doesn't make the pain less, of course. There's nothing that makes this pain go away. It just, and you'll never forget. It won't fade. It just kind of turns into a scar. And I'm walking through that process right now, this pain into a scar. But this walk, this thing that I never thought I could endure, here I am, walking through it by the grace of God. Holding on every day to the hope of heaven and getting to see her and hold her and smell her. These are the things that keep me going. These are the things that push me on. And I can't imagine going through these things without God, without that hope, without that strength. So I implore you to do some soul searching if you're walking through this on your own. I have some devotionals that were gifts to me during this time. Anchored is a great one. I love this one. I'm still walking through it. And then Hope, the 1 Year Book of Hope devotional. These have both been very helpful to me and my husband. He has one of these Anchored books also. We go through this together. I'm sorry if this video is kind of long. I can't imagine trying to not include something that I wanted to say. But yeah, so that's kind of how our year started out. A lot more added on to it, but this video is just about Violet. That's what this video is for. This is for our little girl, talking about her, the meaning that she had to us, the meaning that she had to others. I'm going to see if I can get Ryan to read his eulogy that he read for her at the memorial for you. It's beautiful. I love it. So I'm going to have him read that for you guys, and then I'm also going to include some pictures afterwards so you guys can see our little girl and how perfect and how beautiful she was. I know for moms that are maybe pregnant or walking the life of pregnancy after a miscarriage or something like this could be hard for you. Please don't watch it. It's okay. You're not going to hurt my feelings. This is just something that we wanted to include. We haven't shared a lot of these pictures here or there, maybe some on our Instagram. I wanted to do something and just kind of put her out there so you guys can kind of see how perfect and beautiful she was. So